Well, a bust-out was to have a hidden shirt underneath my shirt that could be either a rock T-shirt or some math formulas. And I would always kind of play it low-key, go around the classroom, and then all of a sudden in front of someone, rip off my shirt and literally scare the person.
High school matters. Come on, let's talk about it. Welcome to High School Matters, the podcast dedicated to conversations that I have with my former high school students. My name is Randy Appel, and I've been teaching high school since the year 2000. And as many of you know, over the last couple of episodes of High School Matters, I had such fun conversations with some of my closest friends back in high school. This week, I reconnect with one of my favorite teachers from high school. My conversation today is with Mr. Ira Dubin. Mr. Dubin, or Doob as we called him, was my math teacher back during my junior year of high school in 1992. His unique teaching methods and quirky personality allowed him to connect with students like me in a very special way. We discussed our relationship and his teaching career in general. Does he remember any details from our time together over 30 years ago? Does he look back fondly on his years as a teacher? Would he do it all over again in today's world or recommend his kids become teachers? This discussion was actually kept short because, as you will hear, Mr. Dubin was not about to miss his nightly meal at the diner with his wife. And thankfully, he did not. I hope you enjoy this special episode of High School Matters. You're a very neat guy. You looked at the bottom of my shoes before I took my shoes off. Are you worried about stuff like that?
No, I don't want dirt on the car. I'm nerdy that way.
Yeah, that's okay. What was the first thing you said to me when you saw me?
Randy, what happened to your hair?
Are you surprised?
Yes, because I thought I was the only one who had a receding hairline.
That's a very common thing that people say to me.
What about your two brothers and what about Dad?
Dad didn't lose much hair, to be honest. Dad still has a good head of hair.
Right.
My middle brother Brian. Do you remember my brothers?
Of course I do.
You remember
Brian
their
and
names?
Josh. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, why don't you explain what it means that I just called you out of the blue after not speaking to you for 30 years, and here we are? Because you were a little hesitant.
I was hesitant on the podcast, not knowing what it was going to do. Whether it was going to be broadcast somewhere without my permission or something.
Right.
But I always enjoyed, as far as hanging out with old students.
Right.
Actually, when I was teaching, a couple of times I had gone to Yankee games with old students.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
How did that play out?
It was okay.
No, but how did it start? How did that even come about?
Don't even remember.
I think you were a guy who always connected with kids.
Right. And then the way teachers are strict nowadays, I would not enjoy teaching because I would be very limited what I could do, being afraid that you'd be brought up on doing something that's a little on the edge.
Like what? So give me an example of something you would have done as a teacher that is frowned upon now.
Wearing crazy T-shirts and all.
Well, so wearing crazy T-shirts. What else would you have been afraid of? Because I think we are in a weird transition time for education, actually, and I'm in it.
Right. And how do you feel?
I feel that there are definitely
restrictions.
I feel a little caged as a teacher.
Yeah, because I know you would kind of want to open up like I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious decision, you opening up to students, showing them who you were?
I don't know. It was a way of me unwinding in the classroom so I could really enjoy teaching. Because teaching the subject matter became routine.
Right.
Once you teach it, it's the same matter over and over with minor changes.
Right.
And it's the students that made everything.
Well, that is funny because that is how I am, and that's the only thing I like. I mean, yeah, it's nice that I teach chemistry and bio, whatever. But the thing I like about teaching, the only thing I like about teaching, is the interactions with kids.
Right. And how many years have you taught so far?
I'm in my 25th year.
Well, I actually retired after 37.
37.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's give a little bit of background of how we're here, because I think it's relevant how this came about. You're not on social media. I am. Again, just a difference.
Right, I'm not a social media person.
But it's surprising because you were very, you did put yourself out there and you like that connections with kids. That's a good way to connect with kids from the old days.
I know, but I just don't Well, my wife's on Facebook, but
She
I'm
is?
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I looked for you for a while,
Yeah.
and I couldn't find you.
I mean, I'd like to. I mean, in a sense, I would like to see some of the people I grew up with. Whatever happened to them?
Well,
but
that's one of the nice things
I
about
know,
social media.
I know.
Maybe you should get on it. Maybe after this, that will be.
No, not really.
All right.
I'm just. I'm not at ease.
Okay, that's okay. You're not at ease for being public, you mean?
Maybe, I don't know. It's not my thing. A lot of people don't like Facebook.
But you're good doing a podcast.
Yeah, that's fine because I know you. You know,
Right, okay.
It's the familiarity with you. If it was some strange student that just came to my house and said, "Look, we heard from you, your background at Hewlett High School,"
So
I would have turned it down.
I couldn't get in touch with you, but I remember, I think maybe because your daughter was our age, I remember your daughter's name was Leslie, and I Facebook messaged her, "Are you Ira Dubin's daughter?"
Right.
But she said something like, "Perhaps, what is this in reference to?" She was
Yeah.
a little guarded.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that?
No, it was. It makes sense because you could have been someone that's not dependable or reliable.
Okay, that's fair. So she was protecting her dad.
Yeah. Well, just because a lot of craziness goes on nowadays.
That's true. All right, so she immediately, I said, no, I was very fond of your dad. He's one of my favorite teachers back in high school.
Yeah, that made her feel very good.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Leslie gave you my number.
Right.
You called me. We
Right.
started talking a little bit.
Right.
And so I guess, first off, how did it feel that I reached out to get in touch with you?
No, I enjoyed it. If it's someone that I remember and I really liked, it was nice to hear. Because, like I said, my biggest enjoyment wasn't so much the subject matter, because after a while that became routine. My biggest enjoyment was interaction with the students.
So, do you remember me in high school?
Very much so.
Do you really?
Yep.
Explain. What do you remember?
You were very bubbly.
Yeah,
Very bubbly. And sometimes I had to kind of calm you down. You were a little too bubbly.
Really? You felt that way?
Yeah, I can sense now just talking to you, your mannerisms.
I am a little energetic.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the word is energetic.
Okay.
And your middle brother, Brian, was very low-key.
He was low-key.
Very low-key. Josh was a little bit more than Brian, but also on the lower side.
Wow. Because I have a lot of memories of you and I want to talk about, but
Yeah, okay.
First,
Well, the thing that I actually remember was in class when I had you. I don't know if I had you 1 year or 2 years. Do you remember?
I think I had you for 1 year.
1 year.
Junior year of high school.
Oh, okay. And I do remember that there was one boy that we always used to chuckle around. His name was David. I don't remember his last name.
Oh, Dave Cooper.
Cooper. Cooper. And we always used to joke. You always used to bring up Cooper.
I did? What, was he in our class?
Yes.
I love Dave Cooper.
And David was very bright.
David was very bright, but didn't work hard in high school.
Exactly. He wasn't a worker, but his natural instinct. I wonder what happened to David.
I know it happened. I just saw him recently.
I bet you he turned himself around.
He's doing great.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I cannot believe you remember that.
No, that sticks in my mind very much so. Nothing else about the class.
No, but just perspective. We graduated high school in 1994.
Correct.
Over 30 years ago. I had you in 1992-93 school year.
Okay.
So we're talking about 33 years ago.
Yeah, but it's easy to remember things from years ago and maybe something recent that you may have slipped. That's how the mind works.
Listen, I remember a lot from my I've been teaching 25 years. I remember a lot, especially from those first 5-10 years.
Right.
But I like that you remember. This is great. So so you have interesting, vivid memories about me talking about one of my friends, Dave.
And then another memory that I had was I remember you were dating someone, Erica Goodstein. You were at the locker, and I can remember sometimes you were trying to, do something that we won't say about it, or
in
just
school. Is that
no, just not so much do something, but just show your affection toward her by the locker.
Oh, did I do that in school?
You were by her locker, and it just, why were you right on top of her by the locker? Not trying to, do anything above and beyond, but.
Wow.
I think she got divorced from who she was married to, this Italian guy. I know, you used to joke around, I don't remember his name, but Luigi or something? I don't know, remember what it was.
Wow, okay, yes, she did get divorced. She married a guy, an Italian guy, I think La Giudice.
Yeah, something.
And she's remarried, she has a kid now.
Jewish guy this time or no?
No.
Okay.
Another Italian guy, I think.
Okay.
I guess
Italian and Jews get along.
They do get along, but maybe
Yeah.
I scarred her from Jews. Maybe I might have been the last Jew she dated.
Anyway, let's just interrupt before I forget. So I have a lot of stuff I want to talk to you.
Okay.
I'm looking at the clock. Well, I can see why the time flies.
Why are you so worried about the time?
No, because we go out to the diner. I don't want to leave too late. We eat like a lunch supper. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Don't worry.
I don't want it to drag beyond 5. Okay, that's the limit.
You're the first person that ever told me you're going to give me 30 minutes max when I first called.
Well, I didn't realize that we were going into, say, I didn't know to what extent. And
well, nobody knows. Every time I come to these conversations, people can't believe these conversations go on. We're having a lot of fun, right? This is great.
No, it's rewarding.
Good. So anything else before we get to you? Anything else you remember about me as a student that would jump out at you? Bubbly and energetic, I like that. I think I was like that. Anything else you remember? I flirted with my girlfriend in the hallway. What else?
Nothing else I can really kind of pinpoint exactly. I assume you did okay with me and I gave you pictures.
Oh, yeah, you were great. Yeah, we'll talk about those pictures. But you obviously liked me, and I obviously really liked you. You were one of my favorite teachers by far. Why? Do you remember why you liked me?
I just think it relates to that we kind of bonded in a certain way.
Yeah, I feel
that you kind of like related to my interaction with students and kind of like prompted me to kind of continue and
Well, I appreciated your interaction with students and with me. You made us feel like that you cared about us beyond the tip. You weren't just the guy that came to school to deliver math instruction.
Right.
And you said from the beginning that's not what you even cared about.
No.
You cared about those interactions.
Yeah.
That's meaningful.
Yep.
Why do you think you were? I mean, I'm a teacher.
It made my school day go faster.
Right. So it's funny. Like it was in some ways a selfish move on your part. You wanted it for yourself, but because of that, you made everyone else better.
I wouldn't consider it selfish.
I don't mean it's selfish in a bad way. I do the same thing. It makes my day better.
Yeah.
If I don't interact with kids,
I'm sure you joke around and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you did.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious decision of yours, or that was your personality, and that's why you
No,
loved
it wasn't
teaching?
my personality. This is interesting that you don't know. I first started my teaching career. I graduated Queens College in 1970, but I never made it to graduation because the Vietnam War was existing then. And even though they gave out numbers, the theory was they're going to go through just about all the numbers in the New York area for the draft.
Oh.
So to avoid the draft, even though my number was crazy high and I should have gambled, but I didn't, I joined the National Guard. I got in through a friend.
So you joined the Army so you wouldn't get drafted to combat?
Well, to get drafted and put overseas in Vietnam.
Oh, so to go if you went into the National Guard, you wouldn't have to go to Vietnam, the country. You stayed in the United States.
Yeah, you stayed local. Yeah.
Oh, and then, so what happened in the National Guard?
At that point, I had joined the National Guard, I believe it was March or April, and then I had to go for basic training, which was 4 months in Fort Polk, Louisiana, which was basically hell on earth.
Oh, was it?
It was an experience, and you had to spend a couple of days to a week making believe you were in Vietnam overnight, out in the field, eaten up by bugs, dig to take care of your essentials.
Wow.
The drill sergeants were mostly black, and that was their way because of discrimination to show power.
Huh.
And if you didn't shave properly, you had to go and give sit-ups and everything.
Oh.
And I learned how to properly shave there, where basically I always thought to shave as you go down, but you also have to go back up to get stuff you missed, which I never knew, which my dad never kind of explained to me, unfortunately.
So you learned a lot in the National Guard, even
Well,
things.
yeah. So anyway, when I finally got out of that, in the fall of 1970, I had sent resumes to all the island school districts. I wasn't interested in working in the city.
How did you know you wanted to be a teacher, though? Where was the connection there? When you went to Queens College, you went for education?
No, I was a math major.
Oh, you were a math major?
No, I just thought teaching was a good thing to get into because of all the time off, the summer vacations and stuff. Got hired at Port Washington School District.
Schreiber High School.
Okay. You know Schreiber.
Of course.
And the principal calls me in, and he was very serious. It says to me, you're too serious as a teacher.
Oh, my God.
And then all of a sudden, when that didn't materialize after, and I had got a position at Hewlett High School, that's when I guess the true me developed over the years.
Interesting. So this conversation kind of took that turn because I said that it was your personality. You're saying that it wasn't really your personality until you got to Port Washington when that principal kind
Yeah,
of...
but basically I'm a more serious, quiet person. I just kind of gave a different look to my personality in teaching.
Yeah, you were not serious.
That's not my true personality.
Not at all.
No.
But you came off as bubbly and what you described me.
I know, but that's not really me.
But it was you in the classroom.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell by talking to me. I'm pretty...
Well, you were very regarded initially.
Yeah.
Giving me the 30-minute time limit and all the other things. I get it. It's don't worry. You're looking at the clock. Don't worry about the clock.
I know. We're on OT now.
We're in OT. So that's interesting. So what was the driving force that got you to be the teacher that I remember? The bubbly, fun guy who used to bust out and act crazy in a great way in class.
I guess to prevent myself from being bored in the classroom.
So you did it in many ways for yourself.
I guess so, to liven it up a little bit.
So it was selfish. By the way, I'm obviously kidding. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But it
how it developed, I don't remember.
The reason I say that, by the way, is I think more teachers should understand that it would be better for themselves. Let's kind of encapsulate who you were as a teacher. Of course, I talked about bubbly. You used to do the bust out.
Right.
That was by far the most memorable thing a teacher has ever done in my high school life. Nobody does it to this day, and nobody did it ever. And you were the guy that did it.
There must have been people that done it.
I'm telling you, Mr. Dubin, nobody ever did a bust out. Why don't you explain what a bust out was?
Well, a bust out was to have a hidden shirt underneath my shirt that could be either a rock T-shirt or some math formulas.
Okay.
And I would always kind of play it low key, go around the classroom, and then all of a sudden in front of someone, rip off my shirt and literally scare the person.
But you screamed, you'd mess up your hair.
Right, messed up my hair, which I didn't have much of then. And took out this large, gigantic comb and I swept it back. Which I should offer you the comb. I think someone gave me the comb too.
But that is such a unique thing. So just from our perspective, we're just sitting in class learning math, and you'd come over and you'd surprise someone. I don't know. You probably picked the quietest kid in the class, and maybe not your best student, but someone that would be shocked and awed by it, and you would start screaming. And you would rip off your shirt, and underneath would be what you said. You'd mess up your hair and then do the big comb over with the big comb. And we all took it. We ate it up. We loved it.
And then at a certain time, I had these throwaway cameras. I used to take pictures with the students after that.
Of course. But where did that come from? How did you even come up with that?
No clue. No clue whatsoever.
Do you understand how memorable that is?
Yes, that's why I can go through this, and as we're talking, it's a certain sense of enjoyment for me.
Yeah. You understood that you were a teacher that most kids that had appreciated having.
Yeah.
Another thing you did that was also really unique is you used to give us, if we got the highest grade on the test or a perfect score on a test, you'd give us signed pictures of you in some funny pose.
Right.
You'd have this is when Superman was a big movie. You'd have well, there it is. It's missed. So let me see that. I'm holding, for any, obviously you can't see, I'm going to take a picture of this, but this is a picture of you superimposed on a Superman character with your hands in the air. That was my first
original picture.
And you used to sign it for us if we got 100 on a test.
No, if you got over 90. And if you got 100, you got a $100 Dubin bill.
Oh, is that what it was?
Maybe it didn't occur during your year, but later on.
Oh, so everyone that got above a 90 got these pictures? That was not... We had to really earn these pictures. Oh yeah, the $100 bill.
Yeah.
One of the other things you did that I remember is if anyone got 100 on the Regents, you took us out to lunch.
Right.
And you know who got 100 on the Regents?
You did?
You don't remember?
Then I did take you out there.
You did. You remember where?
Oh, Foods Rush In.
So I got 100. Do you remember Kenny Eisenstein?
The name rings a bell, yeah.
Do you remember Dana Libertoff?
Yeah.
The three of us, and I found, Kenny sent me this picture, and it's the three of us at Foods Rush In.
Wow.
Look at that. That's the four of us at Foods Rush In.
Look at all that hair you had, Randy. My God. Weren't you a redhead at one point?
I was. In that picture, I was a redhead.
Yeah.
Interestingly, one of the things that when I called you and I said I wanted to do this podcast, your immediate response was, which I found interesting, you should interview Mr. Amara. he's your role model. Why did you say that?
Because you became a chemistry teacher. And
how did you know that? How did you remember?
Because you told me. We kept in touch after you graduated, and you had told me that the reason why you went in for chemistry was Mr. O'Mara.
Yeah.
That being the case, he had to be your role model.
Was there any jealousy in that regard?
Actually, one of the students you graduated with, his younger brother, went in for math as a result of me. I was his role model.
I'm not surprised by that. And I could have... It's funny, when I decided to be a teacher, I wasn't sure if I was going to go math or science. It was one of those two.
Yeah.
Was there a part of you that wished maybe I would have done math and maybe...
Possibly. Right.
Maybe you...
But anyway, I had two students that I remember that I know I had an influence.
The only reason I ask is because I think it's interesting how anyone gets to where they are. And even if I didn't become a math teacher, there's no doubt you had a very positive influence on maybe not the subject I taught, but definitely the way I teach.
Right, exactly.
I truly believe that. And sitting here talking to you, it's actually becoming clearer and clearer how
definitely
how impactful you were.
No, definitely.
How does that make you feel?
Very good.
Yeah.
It makes me, it's very rewarding. Yep.
Would you tell people, let's say your own child or your grandchild, would you tell them to be a teacher now?
No, not because things are different.
Why?
Well, the pension isn't as good as it used to be.
Okay.
Possibly, and it's harder in the classroom. You go through a lot of scrutiny.
Right.
I'm sure, even though you have your tenure, they go in and observe you, and they have to. And as long as you're there, if you're doing something out of the ordinary they don't like, they're going to let you know about it.
Right.
Make you a little uncomfortable. Am I right?
100%. Yeah.
I would not be a comfortable person.
So you do feel now you probably wouldn't recommend...
Probably not. Well, for me personally, someone else.
But that's
may be okay.
Isn't that a shame? The things.
Yes.
Listen, the things I remember about you. You were a great deliverer of math, whatever.
Right.
But that's not what I remember. I remember you being a good teacher, but I had a lot of good teachers.
Right.
That wasn't the relevant thing. The relevant thing were all these things that you admittedly just said aren't even allowed now in many ways.
Exactly. That's
Would you bust out now if you were...
Absolutely not. I bust out, I would be told to not show up the next day.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's such a shame, no? Does that upset you about where the future of education is?
Not really, because times change. It is what it is.
That's how you think of it. You don't even...
I just feel fortunate that I was able to do what I did.
You're thankful.
Yeah. That I had the opportunity to do what I wanted to do then. Not that I knew I was going to do it, it just developed.
So you feel very fulfilled having looked back on your career.
Definitely.
So you brought out this yearbook. This is the 1994 yearbook
and this is the only one I got yearbook dedication to.
Is that right? You remember that?
Yeah, I felt kind of gypped. I felt like I should have earned it more than once because certain people always earned it 3, 4, 5 times, including your role model, Mr. O'Mara.
Wow, jealous again.
Yes, I was. He must have gotten it about 3 or 4 times. Mr. Joannin, because he was in charge of the yearbook, got it, probably 4, 5, 6 times.
I hear a little resentment in your voice.
Yes, it was. I didn't have to be necessarily the same amount as they did, but at least a couple more times than once. So I kind of feel a little...
You deserved it, by the way.
Thank you.
You deserved it the year we got it. You could have been a teacher that got it multiple times. What do you think about that?
Well, I feel kind of gypped.
Why do you think you didn't get it?
No clue how it's voted on, really.
Yeah, but so you did feel it's interesting that you're owning that there was a party that felt bad that you didn't get it.
Yes.
And when we got it my year, what do you think it was about that year? So this was a really memorable year. Maybe that kind of explains why you have so many memories about that year.
Well, it was Jonathan Zrelli that stood out as one of my favorite students, as well as yourself. And you signed that yearbook that you're going to see what you wrote.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
I signed it?
Yeah.
Do you remember where?
It's in the back.
Wow. Oh, my God. Could you read that? It's right there. I see it. Dear Mr. Dubin, I can't.
Oh, my God.
My handwriting is kind of terrible. You want to try to read it?
I'm going to read it to you.
Go ahead.
This was Randy's comments in the yearbook that was dedicated to me, 1994 Patches. It's weird that the first time that I met you, you were my study hall teacher in 9th grade. At that time, I wouldn't have imagined that our relationship would turn out the way it did. I can honestly say that you are the best teacher I've ever had and my favorite teacher. Also, besides making me laugh with your rare bust-outs, you really got me into math, and I actually live math, although there have been some cheap things that you did to me. Reference angle. I can just look back and laugh. I don't remember what that was, really.
Okay.
There are a lot of old memories I will take with me as I leave Hewlett High School. You're going to be one of my positive memories, and I hope we keep in touch.
Here we are.
Throughout college and past this. Thanks for all you've done. Your math student and friend, Randy Appel. 100% on the Math 3 Regents.
Wow. That's a very touching letter.
Yes. Very, well, and compared to everyone else who wrote down, you took a whole page. You don't want to take a copy of that?
I do. I'm going to take a picture of it. That's really beautiful.
I know. I found it.
Wow.
That's why you gave me enough time. No, it's very touching.
Wow. On that note...
You know what it was? The one comment that was negative in there, sometimes you would go a little too overboard and be in... And I had to calm you down, and you know what I'm saying?
Wait, so what was the overboard part?
I don't.
You really got me into math, and I actually like math, although there have been some cheap things that you did to me. Reference angle. My guess is that was a reference to a point you probably took off a test of mine, and that's where the joke is. Whatever. It is.
Whatever.
On that note, though, it's interesting.
I think you might have been nitpicky if I took points off. I remember that you would always kind of come back up to me and say, how about another point or two, I think.
Oh, was I a grade grubber?
Could be. I kind of, maybe. I don't remember.
What do you think about grade grubbers?
Well, sometimes it's legitimate, but not if it's the same person all the time.
Right. Then it's just annoying.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, you brought your yearbook. I brought my yearbook. And I have what you wrote to me as well. And I'm gonna read what you wrote to me to you. You ready?
Yes.
Dear Randy, keep up your super work in the math world. It was really great having you as a student in Integrated Math 3R, especially achieving that fantastic 100% on the Regents. And then in parentheses you wrote Foos Rush In. Keep liking Pearl Jam. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Okay. Keep liking Pearl Jam. And don't forget my crazy bust-outs. I never did. Best of luck at Michigan, especially in all your future endeavors. Keep in touch. And then you wrote, ooh, Dub. Was that something you said? Ooh?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yep.
And then you wrote, P.S. Your quickness on math concepts is really impressive. Also, thanks for the moral support on the passing away of my dad with that special phone call.
Oh, yeah, my dad passed away in 1994. I didn't even know you called. Wow. Yeah, so that did have some... It was kind of like sad in the same time. That's right. He died May of 1994, toward the end of May, a few days before his birthday.
Oh, wow. Right before we graduated high school.
Yeah, he had Parkinson's and it was debilitating.
Oh.
He had been in a nursing home.
And I mean, it sounds crazy to think that I called.
I don't remember that. I honestly don't remember
time.
that, but it's knowing that you did. I thank you now.
Yeah, but that's also, I think, what you wrote is touching too. Yeah. I think, you never know how people are gonna, interact, and I know you come into a classroom after doing this for 25 years, and every year you come in, you're not knowing who your kids are gonna be, and sometimes you do develop a special bond and relationship, and I do feel that we did. Right. And I think you feel the same way.
Okay, so keep in touch.
Yeah. Did you like this conversation?
Yes.
By the way, no one has ever looked at the clock as much as you did.
Only because of the time of the day.
But no, it's funny. It's. I'm not complaining. I just think it's funny. You're always also like a very like a nervous kind of guy. Is that how you are?
I wouldn't call it nervous, but precise and stuff.
Was that because of your training in the National Guard?
No, absolutely not.
It was just who you've always been.
Yeah, just my personality.
Yeah, no. Listen, it's what makes us all who we are.
Exactly.
What do you hope when people look back at having Ira Dubin as a teacher? What do you hope they remember about you?
Well, that they enjoyed the class that I was teaching them mathematics in. That there was a certain amount of enjoyment beyond just the material. That they felt the teacher was interested and wanting the student to do well and enjoy math at the same time.
and you feel that, I mean, obviously I'm validating that for you by being here, and you feel like that clearly happened for you.
Yes.
And it then happened for them.
And hopefully happened to them too.
Okay, and this is the last thing. If you could give advice to teachers today, because I do feel that one of the things that makes a teacher great, in addition, I mean, anyone can learn content. I do believe that. But that's not what makes teachers great. Is there advice you would give to a teacher, a new teacher maybe, who's going into the field and is trying to find themselves, even in this world that that we're in now, where everything is kind of scrutinized? Is there any advice you'd give to a teacher with all your experience that would be useful?
Well, first, make sure you're very well prepared in your subject matter, and once you're at ease, not necessarily the first year or two, but once you're at ease, try to develop a positive personality with your students. Obviously, you can't do a lot of what I did, but you could at least develop a personality that relates to the students. They can see that you're interested in their well-being.
Right.
And of course, I would leave that up to you, what the guidelines are where you teach.
Any regrets on anything you've ever done as a teacher?
Absolutely not.
Wow, a fulfilled 37-year career.
Well, there were days that things were on your mind that it wasn't going to be that kind of a day.
But did being in the classroom help you deal with those things better?
Yeah.
So it really is a great profession for not just the kids, but for the teacher. They really, if you make the day fun, it really helps everyone.
Right. It gives you a positive look to life.
All right, good. Well, you look ready. You looked at the clock 37 times in honor of the years you taught. Yeah. I'm glad we did this. I hope you had fun. Ira Dubin, what a guy.
I want you to look through some of these.
I thought you'd have no time. Now you have time.
I'm just kidding. No more time for this.
No more time for this. You're done. We're done with the recording. Bust out! I want to thank you all for listening. A special thank you to Mr. Dubin. It may have taken me a long time to find you, but it certainly was worth the wait. And I really hope you made the early bird special at the diner. To the rest of you, as always, thanks for listening, and please rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen. Apparently it helps new listeners find the show. I don't know. But if you can, find 2 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever it is, just rate and review it. I appreciate it. To executive producer John Fuss, you're still the man. Matt and Katie, thanks for previewing this episode. Even though you had differing opinions, I still went with it. For the rest of you, thanks for coming, and I hope to see you soon. Twist your body on the boom of the conga. My mama made me say that you get loud. Boomerang like a bull with it bust out. Everybody on the team make it touch down now. Twist your body